Question is that the bill be now read a second time. Ms. Sylvia.
Mr. Speaker, I declare that I am a lawyer attached to a firm that practices criminal law. I am generally supportive of the amendments proposed, but would like the Ministry to clarify two matters. Firstly, relating to the video recording of interviews, and secondly, on reformative training sentences. First, on video recording of interviews, or VRI. I must commend the Ministry on how far it has moved on VRI over the years. When I first broached the idea of video recording of statements during MinLaw's COS in 2008, more than 10 years ago, it was met with a negative response. Today, we are here discussing how to enhance the VRI framework to cover law enforcement officers outside of the Singapore Police Force. This is indeed progress and progressive. Clause 3 of the bill seeks to enable non-police officers to investigate offences relating to a statement made in relation to an audio-video recording. The rationale for this change was explained in MinLaw's press release of 11 February as to enable Central Narcotics Bureau officers who had used video-recorded interviews as part of their investigations to be able to investigate VRI-related offences. This makes sense. As to which types of cases are currently being investigated with the use of VRI, Section 22 of the CPC currently makes VRI mandatory only in cases of rape under Section 3751A of the Penal Code. It is discretionary in all other circumstances. To get a sense of how widespread the use of VRI is among our law enforcement agencies, could the Minister inform the House as to which agencies have commenced using VRI and for what kinds of offences? Also, what has been the assessment thus far of the usefulness of VRI as an investigation tool and as evidence in court? Secondly, on reformative training sentences. Clause 6 of the bill basically removes the right of the sentencing judge to backdate the period of custody to an earlier date. Currently, backdating a sentence to start running at an earlier date could happen if the offender was remanded in custody from the time of his arrest and continued to be in custody for weeks or months before he is eventually sentenced. Such backdating recognizes that he has lost his liberty from an earlier date and takes that pre-sentence period into account. MinLaw has explained that it is removing the possibility of backdating sentences of RT because RT is geared towards rehabilitation, and if the sentences are backdated, the offenders may not have enough time to complete the prescribed programs. That I understand due to the changes made to RT over the years. But when backdating does not happen, how do we account to the individual for the period he or she has spent in pre-sentence custody? Not backdating may cause injustice to the offender. I see that MinLaw is alive to this injustice, as in its media release, it has stated that agencies will work together to ensure that where RT is a likely sentence, remand is avoided or minimized where possible. As RT will be imposed on young offenders, namely those below 21, it is certainly important to ensure that these youths are not incarcerated for longer than necessary, as it will affect their reintegration into education, society and work. In order to avoid or minimize remand, as MinLaw has stated, what practical things will be done? For example, will the prosecution be more prepared to ask for lower bail amounts, or will the cases be fast-tracked in a specific way? Finally, sir, the wording of Clause 6 is that the sentence of RT is to take effect on the date it was passed or at such later date as the court may determine. It would be important for the Ministry to clarify that such post-dating would only occur if the offender is not incarcerated while waiting to commence a sentence of RT.